Hi, this is Terry, and for your second assignment, what I want you to do is a personal budget. And I'm going to go through quite a bit of it with you so that you get plenty of guidance. So I'll itemize some of the issues. One is make sure you use the cash in. Simply just double click and then you can type in whatever name that you want. You can name each tab again by double clicking it. Then I would set this up. I set mine up. This is an old version, 2013, and I've stripped out a bunch of the numbers so it wasn't quite so personal. But I would set mine up, or I did set mine up in semesters. So spring, I set up in summer, and I set up in fall. And then on this cash in, budgets are always done on a cash basis, not on a gross. So it's your net paycheck, not your gross paycheck. And what I did was set up all the different locations where I have money coming in. So teaching at Cabrillo College, um, whoop, teaching at Cabrillo College, and then summers is at a different rate. I teach part-time classes back in Illinois. Um, During the summer, sometimes I teach courses at, again, a college back in Illinois and in Illinois State University. Again, those are summertime incomes. And then St. Francis is a college that I've never set foot on, but I teach an online course for them. And then I rent out rooms in my house to college students, so I would put the money in there. So ultimately, then we want to sum up this column. So remember that if you click in the formula bar, then it will show you that the sum B4 through B10, and then of course it's got the blue box around it to let you know. When you get the totals per column, then you probably also want to do the totals over to the side here. So you would see the total for the year that you get from Cabrillo, the total you get from Heartland College, etc., etc. And what you're going to do is replace these with your own. And I realize that most of you, um, most of you won't have multiple incomes, so I just want you to make them up. I mean, put in a job, maybe put in that you're getting financial aid, maybe throw in, even if just for the sake of making things up, maybe put in that your parents or your grandparents give you some money at Christmas or in August or something. Just so you got some variation, so that when you come back and look at this in the future, if you like this format, if it helps you, then you'll be able to remember what it was and how you did it. All right, so again, your formulas here, you'll just use the sum command. And remember that when you hit auto sum, then it's going to go to the left until it does one of several things. It either hits a word, hits a blank cell, or hits the left side. So since it hit this text here, then it knows that where to stop when it automatically tries to write the formula for you. Otherwise, what you can do is simply just highlight what cells you want it to sum, and it'll take care of it. All right, so that should take care of the top part of the first page. We'll come back to the rest of this. If you go down to cash out, let's see, keep the color scheme, don't show this message. All right, then this one is more complex because it's your cash out. It's all your bills. And what I chose to do, again, spring, summer, and fall, arrange it however you want, is I put what does it cost me to run my car. So my car right now, apparently in January of 2013, it was paid off, but I co-own a car, and our insurance is $550 every quarter. So I put the $550 in, and then I budget $25 a month for car repairs, so that hopefully if I have to do something, like change the oil, those kind of things, that'll take care of it. License plates is $8.33 in total. Again, from your book, from uh, all your readings and doing your practice exercise, if you highlight these numbers here, then look down here at the bottom, you'll see that that's a total of $100. So $100 is the cost of the license plate. You can put that in one time whenever it's due. So what I could do alternatively, instead of spreading this out, is just put that the date that it's due. So those kind of decisions are what I want you to come up with. Do you put it in when you need to, or are you going to, when the money comes out, or are you going to pull money out each month so that when it does come due, you have that money available? And I put gasoline in. So when I get all done, it's telling me that it costs me $725 on the months that I have to pay insurance, $175 a month on the other months. And then if we kind of scroll up, then I put for a house, and we can make these all consistent here. I put in the house, and one of the columns that I have up at the top here is the due date. So it's a quick reference for me. When is it due? Is it due, on the 5th, the 10th? Is it due the 15th and the 30th? Is it taxes are in July and September, end of the month, whatever it is. And then I put those numbers in. And I do silly things like I'll put in red. Some of these numbers originally were in red because I didn't know what they were. I guessed. And then later when I verified them, then I put them back to black to let me know that now I verified them, that those are accurate numbers. So I've got the mortgage on my house, electricity bill, a second mortgage, some gas, some tax, insurance. Uh, let's see what happened with insurance. Oh, I put all the insurance up here, and I really shouldn't have done that. This should be 165, 165, 165, etc. And then the balance of 165, which would be what, 330, then would be um, the homeowner's insurance. So the way my insurance goes is, because they're combined, I pay $495 total. 165 is car, and 330 is home. And then I threw in the water bill, Comcast, DirecTV, etc., and then put some maintenance in. So there should be some maintenance numbers in here. So maybe you want to put in that you want $100 a month, and then maybe you want to throw in maybe another $50 a month for miscellaneous expenses. So when you get all done, you're saying it's costing me between $2,500, $2,600, and $3,000 a month to live in the house. And then I have all my personal bills. So cell phone, credit card, some student loans, most of the rest of this, which the good news is it's all paid off. These were all hospital bills. I had knee surgery, and so who knows who all these people were. When you go into a hospital, you get bills from everybody. And then some other bills that I put in there, that I put in $200 for grocery, that I go to the grocery store, and then $200, a month for buying food away from home, because I eat about half my food at home, and the other half then I go to Subway and other places to get food. I put in $50 for entertainment, to go see a movie, and $50 a month for vet bills. And if you saw me, you would know that my extreme workout body dues doesn't exist anymore. That was a long time ago. Okay, so ultimately, with each category, I got a total. Down here at the bottom, I can't just total those all up, because it would be adding the totals in twice. So you'll notice in my formula up here, I have to manually say equal and then add in the E9, right? The E9, then the E21, the E33, and the E39. The problem with that is that if I add in any more rows in here, then those formulas are going to be off. And that's part of this process of you doing this spreadsheet, is I want you to see, the cause and effect, that when you change something and it isn't right, I want you to be able to look at it logically and figure out. So in this particular situation, I'm telling you that if I would go in here and add two more rows and insert two more rows, then my numbers may or may not be right. You need to go check and make sure that it's now adding the correct numbers. And how would you check? Then you just click inside the formula bar and make sure those appropriate boxes that were highlighted before are still highlighted now. All right, for the 3D referencing then, all you need to do is go back to the cash in, and in January here, I would just hit the equal sign, then click on the cash out button and click on the January total on the cash out sheet, and then hit enter. And what it will do is, you'll notice up in the formula bar it says equal and then it says cash out exclamation point. That's telling you go to the cash out sheet, and then on that sheet get E42, and that's your 3D referencing. Once you've done that and you've got that formula in there, then you can just use your fill handle and slide all the way across. Then the net just becomes B11 minus B12, right? So we're just going to take the cash inflow minus the cash outflow to figure out what the net value is. And now when you look at these numbers, if you format this, that negative goes red. So let's take the money out of here and say I just don't get paid that month. Now you'll see that, oh my gosh, in April I'm really short money. I need to do something about it. In addition to that, what else I like to do is I like to total the cash inflows. So you'll notice that that's just saying equal sum, and then I'm highlighting and summing all my numbers here, making sure you don't grab the total twice. Same with the cash outflows, right? So I got the deficit. And then what I do for myself is, since this is all done on a cash basis, there's a lot of times where they want to know what your gross income is. So if you took your gross income and just said equal, and we want to say, I want to move this cell up here, right? You want to say equal B15 divided by 1 minus your tax rate, because this 62,000 is how much money you made after taxes were taken out. So you want before tax. So if you divide that by 1 minus your tax rate, then you would see what that amount is. So when I hit the green check mark, 76,000, then after taxes it's 62. And then what is that per month? So I'm making, with these numbers, those made up numbers here, then I'm making $6,394 a month. Other things you can do, I mean, there's a million different ways of doing this, but I'm just trying to show you a few. All right, I think we covered most of this. One thing I do put down here at the bottom, and I think this is just a nice little deal, is whenever you pay something that you're only going to pay once a year, twice a year, or 4 times a year, I put it here in this list, and then at the bottom, then I make the calculation of then how much is that I should be shifting over. So if I'm going to pay house insurance and it's going to be I'm going to pay it quarterly, but for 4 quarters, it's a total of $19.80, and property taxes for the whole year is going to be $4,300, and domain name for my internet and my license plates. I'm going to add that up and then divide it by 12. That number there is saying I need to switch that amount of money into savings every month so that when those bills come due, that money is sitting in savings. So what I have is I have an A savings and a B savings. And so my A savings is if I overdraw, then it pulls it out of there. The B savings is where I would put this money. Then when the property taxes come due, that's built up that I can just take the money out of that B savings, pay my taxes, and I don't have to worry about it. The last piece of this is the assets, liabilities, and equity. So what I recommend is take all your liabilities and list everything that you owe in total, and once a month update this. So go in and this was all the doctor bills, and then property taxes, and my total on my mortgage, my total on my house, my total on credit cards, student loans, whatever it is. So you list all those totals, and then I would even recommend that you, if you know what the interest rate is, put the interest rate and then sort it by interest rate. So when you get some extra cash, pay off the highest interest rate first. You can also put some notes in here so that you can keep track, or what the phone number is, or what the account number is. I put stuff like that in here that, one time I talked to a guy named Sean, one time a guy named Steve, those kind of things. Then take everything you own and put a dollar value on it. And this is what you would get if you sold it for cash. So if you sold the house, if you sold the car, you may have a $10,000 car, but if you had to sell it for cash, maybe you only get $5,000. And then look at the difference between the total assets you have and the total liabilities. And that's your net worth. That's what if you fell over dead, how much would you be worth? What would you be leaving to your family, or loved ones, friends, whoever you're going to leave it to? Again, take any and all of this and just kind of use mine as a basis, and then rearrange it any way that you want, anything that's helpful to you. I was this one here was like, what is my first and my second mortgage added together minus the appraisal value minus my two mortgage, first and second mortgage. So that's the equity in a house. That was just a quick little number for me that I like to keep track of. What was the total amount that I owed my bank for all the things I owed my bank? I owed them for a car, I owed them for mortgage, I owed them for this, whatever it is. So I just, any of those things, what was my total health care bills that I was trying to get rid of? So most of this, if not all of this, because this is an old one, so all gone. So, then it's just a sigh of relief that you've got this stuff paid for. All right, so what I'm looking for is for you to go back in and do this and modify it to what's beneficial to you. But what I am going to grade you on is the amount of effort you put into it. And it'll be very obvious. And when you submit this file, then I'm going to go in and I'll hit the control and the tilde. And when I hit that control and then, the squiggle, the next to the number one at the top, then it shows me all the formulas. So I can go in here and very quickly see what did you write in formulas and what was just raw data input. All right, I hope you enjoy this assignment. I hope you find it's beneficial, because that's what I'm trying to do with this course, is to teach you some accounting. This is exactly what you would do with budgeting. You'd set it up for whatever way your company wanted it, but it's the same concept. And but I wanted to make this more special to you and less about, just knocking something out that was meaningless. All right, I hope it went well. Hope you do a good job.